It is Wednesday night, and you know what that means. It is time for the Greg Cherry Show. Happy American Thanksgiving to all the Americans out there. I know Canadian Thanksgiving was last month. I honestly don't know if the UK does Thanksgiving, but just not aware of it. Greg Cherry, alongside former Jack of all trades contestant Josh Mansfield. Josh, welcome to the show.
Sup, Greg? Good to be back, my friend.
Absolutely. And we got some sports to talk about. Unfortunately, it's a week where every team in the AFC North won except my Steelers. So that makes you happy, not so much me.
I don't know if I can be happy. I don't know if we can actually call what happened on Sunday with us a win.
You did better than the Steelers did. We
True,
tied.
and we got
We
good
tied the
news
line.
today.
But,
and the Browns got very good news today.
What's that?
Kareem Hunt's back.
That actually helps me in fantasy. Like I'm short on running backs, so I think it's a league that we're not in together that I have Kareem Hunt. So that'll be helpful because I think Alvin Kamara is out tomorrow, so it's a good thing that I'm getting Kareem Hunt back. So we will talk about. We'll continue the sports discussion in a little bit. Weird state laws. We didn't do Georgia last week because Jeff and I got on a tangent about football. And during this time of year, it's kind of hard not to, honestly, because we're starting to get into the meat and potatoes. See what I did there? Because it's Thanksgiving tomorrow. Getting into the meat and potatoes of the football season. And it's just so tough to squeeze everything in. But we will try and get some weird state laws from Georgia done. And, of course, the Wednesday Q&A. I am trying as fast as I can. I didn't have it set up, but I do have a special thing today for the show, just specifically today. I put this out on Twitter earlier that if we get $100 in total donations tonight, I will smash an egg on my head live on the show. And we will see if that happens.
But do they also get the future shot at the WTC title?
Well, it's $100 total. So, like, if somebody submits $100 themselves, then yes, they still get the shot at the title. And
okay.
But let me see here.
Someone get Big G.
Yeah, somebody find Big G. Tell him to get on the show and donate money. No, we're not gonna make him. But we have a good start already because Brett Storm has put us 10% of the way there with his super chat, which says, "What a night, Fan Quizlemania!" Which, congratulations, yes, 6-time Fan Quizlemania champion, baby. That was
hashtag Cherry for Quizlemania. Yes. Come on, Sean.
Greg Cherry for Quizlemania. I mean, they did an entire bit at the end of the show with me. Thank you, Thank you, Sadi Nyongi. Appreciate you. Love you, brother. Yeah, the Fan Quizlemania was back and forth between me and Brett. It was basically a 2-horse race the entire way between me and Brett. And it was tense up until the very end, and then I was finally able to pull away. But Fan Quizlemania gave me a bunch of laughs, like always. 2 6-time champs crowned in one night, and now the Greg Cherry Show. Would have donated just 5, but let's see you with egg on your face. I told you, we're 1/10 of the way there. So
he wants to see that egg on your face as payback for losing.
Yeah, I think it's kind of something like that. That is like that would make his night a little sweeter if that happened. We'll see if we get there. But I will pull up the wheel, and Brett gets 2 spins because of his donation. So we will see what happens. I might have to do workout. I might be too exhausted. We will see. Oh, I still have it on the WTC questions. Whoopsie diddle. Yeah, not showing that on screen. Spoilers. I will get to your guys' comments in just a little bit, but I do want to pull this up. I do want to pull the wheel up because Brett has graciously donated some money to see it happen.
This is going to be fun.
It will be fun. It won't be so much fun for me. I may have to move the camera. Fortunately, like the shower is right there. It's on the other side of this wall, so it's not too far I have to go. But
Here we go.
there we go. Here's the wheel, and Brett. Well, I actually don't have the questions on the wheel. I have the number question, little behind the scenes of how I set up WTC. I have questions from each category that I pull, and the number that I spin is the questions you guys get for.
Come on, get karaoke, get karaoke.
Well, let's see. He's got 2 spins. It might happen. Here we go.
And then, nope. Was it an entrance the first one?
Nope, it's 20 push-ups.
Oh boy.
All right. Time to get me in holiday shape. All right, here we go. So there's that one. And then we're going to get the second one. So here we go. Please not the 100 jumping jacks right after. Oh, it almost went there. And then an entrance. Okay. 20 push-ups and an entrance. All right. So, Brett, let me know what entrance you want me to do. I'm going to full screen myself so you guys can count along with me. I feel like I need the Body Donna's music. Hold on. I don't think that'll get us pinged on the YouTube, but we'll see.
Like YouTube knows what the Body Donnas are?
The Body Donnas were 1990s WWF tag team.
During the New Generation era, I'm guessing?
Yeah, New Generation, yeah.
So that's why you don't really remember them.
Skip and Sonny. Do you remember Skip and Sonny?
No.
Okay, well.
You're forgetting I'm the baby here, Greg.
Yeah, well, Brett might be younger than you, honestly.
True. For those who watch, I enjoy making Jeff and Greg feel old.
All right, here we go. I'm trying to make sure you can at least relatively see the mess that this is. Oh, look who joined just in time to watch me do push-ups.
Push-up
Let me get them on stream first. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. As you see, a great shot of my crotch, which is, I'm sure, what all of you paid to see. It's Matt Humphrey. Matt, welcome to the show, brother.
Thanks for having me, sir.
I'll come down here. It's a way better look.
Nice to meet you.
I don't know. Are you going to lose viewers by not showing your crotch prominently?
Hey, if I gain viewers by showing my crotch, maybe I'm in the wrong line of work. But
if he loses viewers for anything, it'll be having me on.
Oh no, you're fine. So what happened is I just spun the wheel twice, and 20 push-ups was one of the first ones. And
okay.
Brett Storm also gets to choose a wrestler entrance that I get to do. So I get to do double the workout, essentially, depending what he does. Because he gave me Hollywood Rock, which seemed like a layup last week. So now that I got this out of the way, let me see.
Ooh, I like the entrance he chose.
He chose Macho Man as the entrance. I can do that. That's all right. So I'm going to bust out the Body Donna's music, and we are going to do some push-ups. Let's see how completely out of shape I am.
We believe in you, Greg Cherry.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. All right. Cool.
Cheers with a Giant Eagle seltzer, sir.
Appreciate it. All right. Now I'm going to bust out the Savage entrance. Wow, I'm that out of breath after 20 push-ups. That's not a good sign.
I know that feeling. Trust me.
DDP yoga, my friend.
It's
really
funny.
works.
I haven't. I think I've done it like twice.
Would recommend.
All right, no ads. Screw the ads. And Brett says, now time for a little macho time.
First, I think.
Probably should have. All right. Ooh, yeah.
Cup of coffee.
Putting the exercises on the wheel is a bad idea in hindsight.
Just be glad you didn't get the 100 jumping jacks after that.
Oh my, is that one of the options?
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
I was
Yeah,
going for
that's,
karaoke. I would have gladly done the karaoke for you, Greg.
So, Greg, I see that you've done this Macho Man entrance. How do you feel about, speaking of macho characters, how do you feel about Jay Lethal signing with AEW?
You know, I don't know everything that went down with him and Taylor Hendricks. I've heard the stuff. So it's one of those
I don't
things
know actually
like,
anything about this. So you're
Neither do
informing me
I.
of something new.
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I know
So,
nothing about it.
apparently, while they were both in Ring of Honor together, and I don't know how much of this is true, but this is what Taylor said. So I don't want to say take it with a grain of salt. You always want to believe like accusers or whatever.
Right, allegations and all that.
Yeah. So she accused Jay Lethal of trying to get her to sleep with him to get like more time on ROH. And like she didn't do it and didn't get TV time and was released shortly after.
Oh.
I don't know if that's like a coincidence thing or what, or
I mean, you like to hope that it's not true, but
yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
So it's one of those things where it's like you hope it's not true. You want to believe the best in people, but at the same time, it's like if they are in fact not true, like which I'm kind of hoping for, but again, if they're not true, then Jay Lethal's a fantastic signing. If they are true, it kind of hits the PR of AEW a little bit.
Yeah. Takes the bloom off the rose a little bit.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. So yeah, I want to wish for it to be a good signing because Jay Lethal is an amazing talent. But again, we will see. Thank you, Brett, for that. Now that I'm going to be out of breath for the duration of the show.
Which is going to suck when we get into our football talk, because we definitely have a lot to talk about there.
We don't have that much. We basically covered it. The Steelers suck, and the Browns beat the Lions. I mean, we covered our teams, essentially. True. I do. Sorry, Matt. I know you're not a big sports guy, but I do want to talk about college football briefly.
Oh, yes. Did they actually make a good decision for once?
Cody said, name a donation price to join you for the post college football playoff bracket release. $20 if you want to join. I'm not gonna make you do the full 100 for the egg, but 20 is fine. And you know what? If you do donate in the next couple minutes, we'll hold off on that. Let me hit a couple of these. But yeah, Brett Storm did bring up Fan Quizlemania, which, as I mentioned earlier, 6-time champ. Go me. So I actually need 2 trophies now because they didn't send me the one for my 5th. So they need to send me that one and the 6th one. So, that's what you get.
What's the record?
Oh, I have the record.
Oh.
Yeah.
I haven't put you on main Quizlemania yet.
So one of the record is 6 times. The closest to me is 4. Brett Storm has 2, I believe, and there are a couple others with 1. I have basically, for the most part, dominated, which shouldn't be a surprise to a lot of people.
No, it's not.
But Brett's always a tough challenge. I'm not going to knock Brett at all. He's only won it twice, but he's a challenge each and every time.
Here's a tough challenge in Jack of all trades.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he was very impressive when it came down to doing the trivia challenge. And you'll see that episode soon enough. I won't say how he did, but again, you'll see that because his match comes up next month. Because we're not doing one tomorrow. I do want to make that announcement. There's no trivia challenge tomorrow because, and I've said this before, who the hell wants to watch wrestling trivia on Thanksgiving? So it's
hey, wrestling on Thanksgiving used to be a big thing, man.
I mean, yeah, Survivor Series used to be on Thanksgiving, yeah, but I'm saying specifically who wants to watch wrestling trivia on Thanksgiving. There's a big difference.
I'd rather watch the Bills versus the Saints.
Yeah, same here. I'm going to watch football. Like, I watched the Steelers game instead of Survivor Series. Which
see, I watched my game.
I don't know if I exactly won on that.
You didn't, because Survivor. Well, actually, being one who actually did watch Survivor Series, it was great. Besides the whole stupid egg thing,
I've heard a lot of mixed stuff. Like a lot of stuff I saw was the crowd was dead.
Oh no, the crowd was into it like crazy.
Okay, then maybe I just got some bad intel. I don't know. Again, I didn't watch the show, so I don't know.
When is Brooklyn ever going to be silent about anything in a WWE crowd?
Again, maybe I got bad intel because I saw a couple people say that the crowd was dead at certain points in certain matches. I'm like, that seems very out of character for a New York crowd. I know it's not New York City, but even still, Brooklyn should be like a loud crowd.
My Wi-Fi was acting up a bit, so maybe during the women's tag team match, maybe. Other than that, they really weren't quiet. Maybe the kickoff, but all the other matches were great. Like Charlotte and Becky killed it.
I got to see some of Charlotte and Becky before kickoff. I didn't get to see the whole thing.
That was a great match. I would call that match of the night, probably.
Yeah.
Going off of what you said, Greg, I actually saw a report that there were points where they showed the crowd and it seemed like they were really loud, but it looked like everybody was just sitting there quietly, like they were piping in cheers. I haven't seen it myself. I'm not a WWE guy.
I feel like they've been piping in cheers since fans came back, which drives me insane. It's like your crowd should be able to dictate. Like you had that advantage in the Thunderdome. Like you had that option to pipe in noise to make it seem like that. Like that was one thing where you could produce it because you couldn't really have people talking off of the monitors because that would have just been a cluster of noise that would have been annoying. So you had that ability in the Thunderdome. Right. Now that you have live crowds back, let the crowds be the crowds. Don't try and overtake them. They've been doing it even before the pandemic because they used to tone down the boos for Roman to make it seem like he got cheered more, and now they're just trying to pipe in noise to make it seem like exciting. It's like maybe if you wrote better television, people would be more excited about it.
I don't know if I noticed much piped in noise, but that might just be me.
I mean,
and again, this is all secondhand for me. I haven't watched anything, so
no, it's perfectly fine. Well, here's the thing: I've missed numerous wrestling pay-per-views because of football. I missed the last 2 AEW pay-per-views because Notre Dame games were in the evening. So naturally, I'm going to choose my Irish over wrestling. And Survivor Series happened on a Sunday Night Football game with the Steelers. So it's like I'm going to watch football. Like the only option that I would take wrestling over football is when the NFL runs the Pro Bowl and the WWE runs the Royal Rumble. That happens on the same day. Naturally, I'm choosing the Rumble. That's the exception.
Would you say that's your favorite pay-per-view, Greg?
Yeah, the Rumble's by far my favorite pay-per-view.
Yeah, I get that.
I've been to one, and it unfortunately wasn't a great Rumble, but just being there for a Rumble match is something cool.
Was that 2014?
Yes.
Yep. Hey, I got one. Unlike my job out experience on the
I was gonna say you did better here than you did on
That's the worst.
It's okay. You're not the only one. If it's any consolation, you're not the first to.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you did knock at my door at like midnight and say, "Hey, come do this," and I was like, "What?" And I was half asleep the whole time. But
yeah, it is what it is.
All
right, so I do want to talk about the college football playoff very briefly. So the college football playoff is as follows. We have Georgia at number 1. Makes sense. They're undefeated. Ohio State jumping to number 2 over Alabama. That surprised me. I understand after they whooped the ever-loving crap out of Michigan State. That made sense perfectly. Alabama went to 3, and undefeated Cincinnati at 4. I like that. I predicted that they would finally make it into the top 4 into the playoffs. So good for Cincinnati, even though they beat my Irish in October. But, it is what it is. Michigan at 5 and Notre Dame at 6. Quite frankly, I don't care about anything below that because why should I? My team's at 6. So with this week and next week to go, Notre Dame has 1 game left. They should be able to take care of business against a weakened Stanford team. They should be, but I know Notre Dame and they love to frustrate me. They didn't against Georgia Tech. They beat them 55-0, which I was very happy about that they were able to do it. So they should be able to beat Stanford. Michigan and Ohio State, 2 and 5 rather, play each other. I feel like the loser is out of playoff contention. Georgia and Alabama play each other next week. If Alabama loses, they're out of playoff contention. Notre Dame sneaks in at number 4. I'm good with that. Hopefully that's the case. And yes, I do realize I'm on the No DQ channel. So happy Thanksgiving. Here's a bonus for you guys. I didn't even really tell Aaron because I didn't notice till 20 minutes in I was live on the No DQ channel. Go me.
Nicely done.
Yeah, I do what I can. But yeah, the Great Cherry Show is still here. So as far as wrestling goes, we've talked about Impact. I mean, we've watched an AEW pay-per-view together. Mm-hmm. What do you feel about the state of AEW as it is right now?
I think that they are in the best place that they've been so far as a company because they have the best talent they've ever had. The first, say, year or so of the company, it was a whole lot of people who, in my personal opinion, have no business being on national television. Cough, cough, Joey Janela, cough, cough. But now they have top stars. There's some of the best wrestling television in years. There's still some stuff that I think is really, really stupid and I wish wasn't on the show. I hate anything involving the Young Bucks. I think I can't stand their matches. They're the same thing every time. Their quote unquote comedy is not funny. But anything involving CM Punk is great. Anything involving Danielson, MJF, Darby Allin. I'm wearing a Sting shirt right now, so you can tell where I am on that. But just overall, the show is better than it's ever been.
Did you go to the Dynamite and or Rampage in Pittsburgh?
I went to the Dynamite, the last one. Yep. I didn't go to the Rampage. I actually wish I would have gone to the Rampage instead because I think that was a better show.
Why didn't you tell me you were a Dynamite, brother? I was there too.
We did talk about it.
We did.
I thought we briefly talked about it. Yeah, but okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
The first time I was at the Dynamite show in October of 2019, which was the 4th episode, that I thought that was actually a better show. But this last time was fun too.
That episode of Dynamite was kind of. It was really just to get that Britt Baker pop. I really think the Britt Baker pop was a big part of it.
It was insane. I couldn't even hear what she was saying in the building.
That DMD, I still say, is the loudest thing I've ever heard in a wrestling arena.
It was okay. I ask with the caveat that you've been present for, or in general.
That I've been present for.
Okay.
Like I said, that I've heard in a wrestling arena.
Gotcha,
that I've actually been there for a live show. Because,
like
I said, I was at the Rumble. I was at freaking WrestleMania. But like maybe it was just the condensed space or something that the DMD was just extra loud. But
yes,
there's a lot of hometown pride in Pittsburgh. There really is.
Oh yeah. I mean, to the point that when CM Punk debuted, he said, "You sure know how to make a kid feel like Britt Baker in Pittsburgh."
Yes,
Like, that's
that
the
was one
size
of
of
the
that
opening
pop.
lines. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun. If you haven't seen the reaction video of CM Punk's debut on the Greg Cherry Brand YouTube channel, go check it out.
I would also recommend it.
I posted that shortly after it happened, maybe a couple days after. But I also have a reaction for Danielson and Cole coming to AEW. Again, that was a pay-per-view I missed live because of the Irish game, because I think that was Notre Dame's first game. Notre Dame's first or second game. I missed that for. But I watched that back. I also have the reaction to Big E winning the WWE Championship from Bobby Lashley. So go check all those out. Follow the Greg Cherry Brand if you're not already. Go like, go subscribe. Let's get me on Quizlemania. That's still a goal. But yeah, I think AEW is doing great things. I think that I'm going to take Josh off the screen. He's a little busy right now. I think they're doing great things. And I really hope that their success continues. I know it's a big episode, again, in Chicago tonight for Dynamite. Danielson's going up against Cabana. CM Punk, I think, is facing QT Marshall.
Yep, QT Marshall. Yep.
So that should be an easy win for Punk. Teasing the MJF feud that we may see at probably Revolution, if I had to take a guess. Maybe Winter is coming. I don't know if they want a hot shot at that quick, but
I would guess they're going to at least take it to the next pay-per-view. But talk about a great moment of wrestling television. Punk coming out, not even saying a damn thing, just looking at MJF, and the crowd started a holy shit chant. That's a sign you're doing something right.
Yeah, and it could be another thing that it kind of put me in mind. I don't know if you remember this, where CM Punk interrupted Jericho shortly after he came back, said absolutely nothing, and left.
I think I've seen it. I think.
Yeah, that
may have been during my lapsed fan period, though.
That's fair. But yeah, AEW is doing great things. Hope for much continued success for them. Obviously, we kind of know what WWE is doing, but it could be anybody's guess at this point.
I don't think anybody knows what they're doing at this point, other than producing live weekly television.
Yeah, like WWE is just kind of there. And it pains me to say that. Like, I want so badly to love WWE. I want that. I want it for them. But they're just mind-numbingly frustrating. And I'm not even talking like from a creative standpoint or whatever. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Mr. Jeff Mead.
There he is.
There I am, slow but sure. Excuse me.
Are you feeling okay?
Enough to do the second half of the show. How about that?
Okay. So
are you getting enough oxygen?
Yeah.
That was a Space Ghost reference.
Oh,
I got it. I was
okay.
See what happened next.
I missed it. Like,
Jesus.
I said, is he getting enough oxygen?
Surprisingly enough, yes.
I used to be able to do a decent Brack voice, but I can't do it anymore.
I could now if I thought about it.
Even doing like the whole like head bob thing like we used to do on Cartoon Planet.
Really?
So we've talked about AEW, Jeff.
Oh, okay.
We also talked about Survivor Series. You watched Survivor Series.
I did.
What was your thoughts on that?
You know, it's one of those where the build was just flipping god awful, but it delivered. It really did. It was a decent enough show. I dare say it was a good show where the show went way better than I thought it would. Again, the build was crap, but even on paper, the show still looked like it was going to be really good. And it was. And I found myself invested in every match on the card, even the pre-show, the kickoff, whatever the hell they call their damn 30-minute or whatever. I enjoyed the execution of each match. I enjoyed the outcome of each match, and it made me want to watch Raw the next night. Sadly, was Raw the next night was just a hot mess. I even caught it on Hulu. I was still like, God, this is 90 minutes too long. But the pay-per-view itself was very, very, very much a surprise in how good it turned out, or how well it turned out, I should say.
I have something that I want to ask
like
both of you about.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay. I have something I'd like to ask you both. What your thoughts are with all of the releases, not just of talent, but people that actually work at WWE. I've seen a lot of rumors that they may be gearing up to sell within the next few years. What do you two think about that?
That's been bounced around quite a bit over the years.
I just bring it up now because of how many releases in so short a time and everything. But
that would definitely lend to the idea of they're trying to eliminate overhead costs, basic costs to get a sale through. But it's so hard for me to even fathom the idea of the McMahon family and their inner circle, if you will, releasing control to that degree. I don't know if they would actually do it. And again, will there be a huge amount of stipulations? Will they still retain creative direction control? Will they still be in charge of the way the show is presented on television, the way the superstars are presented on their cards? There's a lot to factor in with that. My gut reaction is no, they're not selling. My gut reaction is they're trying to clear, if you're a sports guy, Greg will know this, you're trying to clear cap space for Brock Lesnar, for The Rock, for whoever's coming in, that's going to, demand, all those high buku bucks. You got to remember, if they bring Dwayne in, they have to clear not only his movie schedule, they have to clear insurance for his own production company through Universal. If you're talking about the Fast series, there's so many things that have to be factored in just to even have a glimmer of an idea of bringing The Rock back to television and to a major feud, in this case, Roman Reigns. So there's a lot to be said for that. Brock Lesnar's, again, this is going to be a sports reference that maybe a few people watching will get because of me. Brock Lesnar's like the Darryl Sutter of WWE. Coach Sutter was up in Canada on his farm, happily retired, having coached all over the NHL. And the Kings threw him, quite a huge offer back in 2011. And he came down, took us to 2 Stanley Cups. And then he went back to his farm and he retired again after a few years of being here. He's now back in the game. I think he's advising for another team now. But it takes a lot to get the coach off his barn, off his property. It takes a lot of money to want to get to Brock Lesnar to want to have to come down from that farm, come down from his kids, come down from everything he's got going up there and get back into the ring. Brock Lesnar could care less. Brock Lesnar's got money forever. He don't give a shit right now. So to sell off, to release these talents is definitely a money thing more than a selling the company thing, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Gotcha.
All right, so let's get into some weird laws, because I know we talked about doing it last week and we completely just went off the rails as far as talking about college football, which I did. Talked about it a little bit. I think the college football playoff rankings this week are fine, by the way. Dave.
Yeah.
I pretty much predicted it, other than the swapping of 2 teams. I called the top 6 correctly.
Right.
Which, quite frankly, for me is all that matters, because Notre Dame's 6th. And anything under that, I don't care.
Exactly. That's it.
So we're going to get into some weird laws. There's still opportunity, by the way. And I forgot to mention the super chat. John Brown sent in $2. Thank you very much, John. But I think that was on Riff's channel, which I didn't realize I was on until about 20 minutes in. Whoops. It's okay.
I didn't start the show this week, did I? Did I do that?
No, I must have, when I was setting it up today, I must have
just clicked it.
Accidentally clicked it. Yeah, it is what it is. Hey, happy Thanksgiving, no DQ.
That's it.
All right, so we're going to find some weird state laws. There's still opportunity to donate to the potential egging of yours truly, because I promised that on the show. We're partially there. We're partially there, but we still got a ways to go. You tried, Brett, if nothing else.
Yeah.
And
yes, Brett, I know it's November 25th for you, but you know what? I'll have a Thanksgiving hat, and I will always wear this after Halloween anyway. So, excuse me.
Okay. Here we go with some weird Georgia laws.
Oh God, we're still
If an
in Georgia.
organization, yeah, hey, you're number one in the college football playoff, but you got some weird laws. Here we go.
Well, no, I'll have to fix next week's graphic in that case. Good thing I know now.
Yeah, not a problem. If an organization not registered as a nonprofit fails to register their raffle with a local sheriff, that group risks paying up to $10,000 in fines and spending 5 years in jail.
I'm actually okay with the first one this week, because if you're a nonprofit and you're trying to, pass yourself off as something and not get certified, hell yeah, lock your ass up, throw away the key, brother.
Yeah, I guess that could be like a money laundering type deal.
Very much so. I mean, it doesn't mean it is, but it's much more likely than it is that it isn't, especially in today's day and age, unfortunately.
Okay, well, we're about to get a little bit weirder.
Hooray.
As we do in this segment.
As we do, yes.
The term sadomasochistic abuse is defined so broadly that it could be possibly applied to a person handcuffing another in a clown suit.
That's oddly specific.
It is very oddly specific.
He's off for today. Thanks. Okay, very.
Yeah.
Also in Georgia, all sex toys are banned.
Oh, the hell with that. That's terrible. That's awful. All right. So, go ahead.
I didn't really have a follow up. I was just like,
oh, well, okay. So
I guess anybody in Georgia?
Anybody in Georgia?
Yeah, this is the entire state right now.
Georgia wants to confirm or deny this. Greg, let me ask you this before you go on. Is there anything in there, any of their laws stating about bringing marijuana into the country? Wow, into the state?
Probably not in this.
Okay, I asked that because when Dylan's mom and I and Dylan took our little Six Flags trip across the country, our first stop was in Georgia, and she specifically said she couldn't bring her vape or anything into the state. Like they couldn't bring from out of the state because it was legal across the state, which I found out was kind of weird, but whatever. So, which is why what happened in Chicago because she was trying to replenish because having not had it in Georgia. So I just didn't know if that was actually a law or a weird law or what. I found that very funny that as widely accepted as it is nowadays, you still can't bring it into or buy it in Georgia.
So, well, here's the thing. And this is from what I understand doing the work that I do.
Oh, okay.
Marijuana on state levels can be decriminalized and there's no problem with it. Mm-hmm. On a federal level, it is still a criminal act.
Oh.
As of right now. But
okay.
Depending on what legislation is passed, they could federally decriminalize it, which quite frankly would be fine. I mean
they should.
There's no reason it shouldn't be.
Yeah. No. If it is federally decriminalized, like that'll take a lot of like unnecessary like criminal activities because there's way worse things that people can do to get in trouble than do pot. I mean, honestly.
Legalize it and tax it.
Yeah, exactly. If people who love using marijuana, obviously I'm not one of them, people who love like smoking pot and stuff will pay out the ass for it if you tax it enough.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. Rob and I talked about this, 13 years ago now when he made that big, long 3-show appearance on Talk Wrestling back in 2008. Exactly. Just legalize it across the board and then tax the shit out of it. People will still pay it, but at least there won't be a worry. The fact that she actually had to, I can't bring this on the plane because our first stop is Georgia and we're going to be flying into Georgia, so I can't do that. And then to have to, scoot around, parts of Chicago she's never been to the city before. So, and, people get lost doing things they've never done before. So it just led to this big, huge thing because she couldn't get it in Georgia or bring it into Georgia. So I was just curious if there was anything on there about it. So.
All right. Next up.
Yes.
It is illegal to use profanity in front of a dead body, which lies in a funeral home or in a coroner's office. What exactly is the dead person going to do about it?
Well, this is how the undead rise, but only in the state of Georgia.
Right. Yeah.
So
you can grieve over the body all you want, but if you start swearing, you have to pull a Ghostbusters up in that bitch. Like, okay.
Georgia is SEC country. I'm sure there are a lot of college football fans that curse all the time, but you telling me you can't curse in front of a dead body?
Well, I mean, the bodies get tackled on the field aren't technically dead yet, so they're trying to draw the line there.
I guess.
Georgia's number one we're ragging on. This is not going to end well for us at all.
There's probably a reason I accidentally clicked on the no DQ thing. It'd be like, Rich will be like, please don't do that again.
Aaron, like, why is there a sports? Why is this happening on my channel? We'll get this at 5 o'clock on. What the hell, Jeff? I didn't do it.
I haven't gotten enough sleep this week. That's what it was. I it's exactly what I get to sleep in tomorrow because I don't have to work again until Monday. So I'm very happy. So I get to sleep in Thursday, Friday. I'm good to go. All right.
I've had so much NyQuil last 2 days. I'm surprised I haven't slept more.
Sometimes it's tough for it to kick in, especially if you use it too much.
Well,
like, I only use it when I need it, or like when I just want to knock myself out. I try not to use it every day because then you get used to it, and then it starts to like lessen its effect because you get used to it.
Well, see, Monday night, I fully intended to not necessarily watch Raw, but watch Aaron's post show because it's his birthday. I want to be there for his birthday. I don't get to see him this year on his birthday, which I hate. And halfway through what I wasn't watching Raw, halfway through what was Raw broadcast, I'm like, I can't deal with this congestion in my head anymore. So I just threw back an NyQuil. I'm thinking to myself, this is not going to end well. I should put a chat on his thing. I'm not going to make it. I love you, brother. Happy birthday.
Are you sure that was congestion, or was that just the effects of watching Raw?
Combination.
I didn't watch Raw until the next day, so that would have been my Tuesday conk out. Would have been watching Raw.
It probably was the anticipation of, oh crap, I have to watch Raw. Nope.
The fact that they actually, led us down the primrose path of, hey, we're using a prop from the Rock's movie. He's bound to be here, right? And he didn't show up for what amounted to be 6-7 hours of television. I was like, okay, whatever.
What's really funny about that is that The Rock appeared at Bound for Glory 2020, but he couldn't even appear at the 25th anniversary of what is it? His 25th anniversary of Survivor Series.
I found that hysterical on levels.
Yes.
Impact pulling down The Rock, and WWE can't. WWE in the mud.
I mean, it's really all about the fact that The Rock or Dwayne Johnson got to induct a friend at Bound for Glory. That's the difference,
Yeah.
So,
all right, let's hit some of these cities.
Here we go. Yes. Cities are always the best.
Yeah. In Athens, Clark County, Georgia.
Oh boy.
If you want to read your favorite book in public to your friends, do it before 2:45 a.m. Who the hell is out in public just reciting lines from a book at 2:30 in the freaking morning?
There was just that one guy that did it every night and did it very loud and annoyed everyone in whichever city this is.
Yeah.
Or town.
Now, Athens.
If you just said Athens, Cobb County, I would have. Okay, well, so that's why the boss man was such an angry policeman. Got it.
I think Athens is where the University of Georgia is it not?
I believe so.
Yeah. So yeah. All those Bulldogs fans are like, hey, we're number one. We need to get some sleep. Shut up.
Sure enough.
Did he say something?
My mistake, sorry about that, brother.
Did he say something?
The end of the show. That's tremendous.
We're still live, and he's like getting on my case. It's like, what? Hey, listen, I got you $2 worth of a super chat. Shut up.
Greg, have I ever told you? Greg, I think we talked about this once before. Have I ever told you what I would love to see you do as an entrance that will require an extensive amount of money?
Oh, Lord.
I'm not doing Molina's, if that's where you're going with it.
No, it is not.
It's Master Keeley, believe it or not. So
yeah, I would love to see you do Sting's entrance from 96 through 99 in WCW and literally just see you fall from the sky and smash through the table. I would love this.
Well, no, falling from the sky. Never mind. Bad joke.
No,
don't go there. Make an Owen reference. Don't do it.
I won't. I'm good. Okay,
that's terrible.
So, Greg, I think what happened is you accidentally clicked Aaron's instead of my stuff because none of my stuff is up here at all except the Facebook page.
My bad.
So that's what
I thought I clicked yours, but maybe I didn't.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't see my Twitter or the usual YouTube thing, which whatever. But
again,
okay.
I was in a sleepy haze and trying to
Yes.
get work done too.
Definitely.
All right, in Columbus, Georgia.
Oh boy.
Hi, Cody. No one may tease an idiot.
Oh man, that's too easy.
That's just a very specific, like, anti-bullying law, but it's not said in a very kind way.
They tease a bully.
This show wouldn't exist.
I was gonna say, how did AEW run in there? How did Cody have a homecoming show? Like
Columbus, Georgia cannot air this program. Like, it was blocked specifically in Columbus, Georgia, because I make fun of idiots all the damn time.
So okay, so we can't have weed in the entire state, and we can't tease the bullies in Columbus. Why are we going to Georgia in the first place? I mean, why is that even a thing at this point?
Greg, I think that's a new T-shirt for you at this point. Banned in Columbus, Georgia.
Yes. Make it happen for yourself.
There you go. If you watch this episode, then you get it. And then people in Columbus, if they ever saw it, be like, who the hell is this?
We tease idiots all the time.
Yeah.
What you do is you stand in the border between Columbus and the next city. You stand there going like this. They're like, who the hell is this guy across the county line here? Why is he wearing our state flag? What the hell?
It's like, as long as I'm not wearing an Alabama A, I'm fine.
If anybody ever sees Greg wearing Alabama A, restrain him, and lock him away. He's gone to the bad place.
You won't
say it.
Also in Columbus, Georgia, it is illegal for stores to sell cornflakes on Sunday.
You know what? I'm okay with that selling cornflakes. I can't stand those things, but on Sunday is what is funnier than the rest of it.
Question: do Frosted Flakes count?
Well, they are
technically cornflakes, but they have sugar on them.
Well, more important question: is there an obscure Bible verse somewhere that is very anti-cornflake?
You know, I go
Sunday.
to church every Sunday, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never heard a cornflake reference, so
please
I'm
ask
pretty
your
sure
priest, pastor, whatever this week.
I'm pretty sure, you know, our Lord and Savior is perfectly fine with us having cornflakes on Sunday.
But not
just throwing that out there. He loves us.
Of...
I'm pretty sure that's not going to damn us to hell if we have cornflakes on the Sunday. I'm sure we're fine.
You can have cornflakes. You just can't buy them at the store on Sunday.
Or buy them
the day of the week. Right.
Moving on from Columbus, whatever.
What a bonkers ass city. Jesus.
Yeah.
Got to visit someday.
Well, we move from Cody to AJ Styles because in Gainesville, Georgia.
Gainesville. Yes.
Chicken must be eaten with the hands.
That's kind of a medieval thing, but okay.
I mean, I like chicken legs and stuff. I mean, we eat with the hands anyway, but like, I'm guessing like even grilled chicken, you have to eat with your hands.
Because it's if you go to medieval times anywhere across the country, they serve you chicken where you have to eat it with your hands. So I guess they're just trying to stick with things that work. Although medieval times in the grand scheme of things didn't work out long term, but
I guess I misspoke. I said Columbus, Georgia was Cody, but that's actually Marty Jannetty. Is Columbus, Georgia.
Right, because Cody's Marietta, technically. Oh no, that's Marcus.
Well, speaking of, in Marietta, Georgia, though it is illegal to spit from a car or bus, citizens may spit from a truck. Well, if that's not a Southern law, I don't know what is.
That is a Southern law 101 right there. Like, you can't spit from a car or a whatever the hell you said. But a truck is okay because I'm in my truck, damn, and I can spit. What the hell? That's Southern right there, brother.
And finally, in Roswell, Georgia.
Oh, Roswell. Okay.
I don't know if I want this one explained to me or not. The flooring of adult bookstores and video stores must be non-absorbent and smooth textured.
Get out, everybody.
And with that, we'll see you next year.
That's right. We'll see you after Thanksgiving. Yeah. Wow.
Is this to like prevent people in raincoats from coming in?
I think it's to prevent people from enjoying the products of the stores.
Yeah, the
Inside
raincoat
stores.
crowd.
So if you want
Are
to
you
hear more
familiar
about
with this
that
term,
crowd,
the
you have to
raincoat
come
crowd?
if you want to hear more about that crowd, you have to join the Jeff Meacham Network Open Mic Night starting a week from Sunday. Yeah.
Oh boy.
That's,
Anyway, let's
that's
get into your
specific and
questions.
very needed. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah, let's get into the questions, and then everybody can enjoy Dynamite.
There you go.
Because what a transition that is. Talking about non-sticky
to top that
floors,
one.
and now
On
we're going to
Georgia.
Dynamite.
Yeah. That's it.
Thanks, Georgia. Thanks for all that you
Lordy.
do.
We appreciate it. We really do.
We
Oh, so
appreciate
JJ was
it.
here earlier. I don't know if he's stuck around because I wasn't here, but hi, JJ, if you're still around. Hi.
Dwayne Atkinson says, "Who had the best Survivor Series debut?" Oh, you did that.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Dwayne said, "Who had the best Survivor Series debut?" Taker.
So maybe the debut in and of itself wasn't a huge thing because of the opponent, but long-term projection, Kurt Angle. I mean, within a year he was champion. You know,
I mean,
and
The Rock had a good one too.
Rock had a good one too.
The gobbledygooker. No.
That's right. Hector Guerrero, damn him.
30 years later, won his first championship.
There you go. Hey, you know what? No haha intended here, but the fact that Dana Brooke actually won her first championship Monday was actually pretty cool.
I agree. I was very happy for her. Like, we know we crap on the 24/7. Well, I don't crap on it because I actually like it. I'm probably one of the few. People crap on the 24/7 championship, but it gives opportunities to people that might not otherwise have them. So I'm excited to see what Dana Brooke does with the 24/7 championship.
Yeah, and it seems like they're not going to do anything with Dana anyway. So let her run with. And you know what? It's funny. She's in storyline anyway. She's a disciple of Titus. So who was the first champion? So we'll see if they connect that dot or not.
Did Apollo ever win the 24/7 championship?
I don't think he ever did. I'll have to go back and read the history later. Maybe it'll be a WTC thing. But
fail for Titus Worldwide. Of course, he was Intercontinental in the United States.
Everybody in Titus Worldwide has the championship. But, again, you can clearly see that Dana's not going to get a major run with either single championship or the tag championship for whatever reason. I think she's talented as hell, and she's got the look, to be sure. So how do you not put the championship on her is beyond me. I don't know.
For the Q&A, what was the team name for the Survivor Series team with Hakushi, Barry Horowitz, Bob Holly, and Marty Jannetty? I am the Jobbers Survivor Series team names because they're all over the place.
The Underdogs.
That makes sense.
Pretty sure that's what it is.
That completely makes sense, especially with Barry Horowitz, even Jannetty in some.
Even Jannetty there, yeah, and Bob Holly back in '95 also. So.
Hey, look who we got back. Hi, Josh.
Sorry about that. A lot of things going on all at
fine.
once, but it just happened that I had to step away for a bit. Sorry about that, everyone.
You're good.
Curtis is here. Good to see Curtis.
Yes. What's up, Curtis? How you doing?
Hey, Jeff.
Besides The Undertaker, are there any stars you want or think will be inducted into the next Hall of Fame? I mean, The Undertaker feels like a lock, especially because it's in Texas for Mania.
Michelle McCool.
I mean,
like everybody except JJ agrees with that statement right now because he's never big on Michelle. But again,
think about it. It's in Texas. Her husband's going in. Why not put her in as the female?
I could kind of see it that they would put. I mean, she's the first ever Divas champion. She was the first ever person to become Divas and Women's champion. So she's got title history on her side.
Yeah,
and she
love or hate Michelle. She's got the stats in her favor for sure. People
the most eliminations in the first Women's Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm. People despised her so much that her hatred spilled over onto Layla by association. So,
oh my gosh, I will even say when I started watching wrestling late 2019, early 2010, when I was in 6th grade in middle school, I could not stand Michelle McCool. What was that, Jeff?
I said, let me grab my rheumatism medicine and my freaking hair dye to turn it from gray again. Now Josh is like,
But I remember when Mickey beat Michelle for the title at the Rumble and was so happy. Then she lost it. And then Beth beat Michelle for the title.
Yeah.
Lost it.
That whole Piggy James thing was such a nightmare. It was so
character.
Kind of put a
I
damper
couldn't
on
stand
everything.
the character.
Was
I was happy when Layla beat her at Extreme Rules to make her retire.
Right.
But she's earned a Hall of Fame spot. No questions asked.
Yeah, the Piggy James storyline was definitely one of the worst storylines they've ever done.
Yes.
Imagine that today. Yes. That would not go over so well. And it didn't go over well at the time.
No, it didn't go over well.
Yeah, it didn't go over well 10 years ago. Yeah. So I actually like this question from Mr. Yuck. What are we going to do after we do the state laws again? What about odd crimes of the week? Before we did what we did after the state laws last time, we're actually going to look into, the provinces of Canada, the districts of Mexico, as much as we can learn about those, obviously. Just kind of take it globally and see how much we can find out.
Yeah. Going back to the Hall of Fame question, though, as far as women's superstars, I don't know who else you can induct because you just inducted Molly
and the Bellas.
Do you think Stacy Keibler did enough to get a
yes
Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Not to sound unnecessarily comparative, but if you're going to induct Tori, you got to induct Stacy. I mean, Tori did a little more as far as the Playboy covers and the overall media exposure, wink, wink. But Stacy was right there in the thick of it during that time and, had the opportunity to be that Playboy personality. She just turned it down because of what she believed in at the time and probably still does. Stacy Keibler was very much a hot media commodity, not just in WWE, but toward the end of WCW existence, she was one of the few bright spots of that company. So if I'm a wrestling person, if I'm a WWE person, I put her in.
I mean, she dated George Clooney, for crying out loud. That's got to get you something.
Well, I mean, more importantly, she dated David Flair.
Woo!
Yeah, I
did we talk about David Flair earlier? Did I just miss it?
I think David Flair and Billy Kidman should get their own Hall of Fame wing for overachievement.
Right.
Like, God bless them both, man.
What about Sable?
Sable,
Mrs. Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
People are gonna love her, hate Rena, and that's how they're gonna feel about her for all time. I think she definitely deserves it. I hesitate to compare again, but if you're gonna put Sunny in for being the original diva, which she deserved at the time, still does, for my opinion, personally. People feel they feel about Tammy, but I think that Sable definitely has earned her place in that all-time recognition department without question.
The thing is that, like we just said, for Sable, Mrs. Brock Lesnar, Michelle, Mrs. Undertaker, they shouldn't be known just by their husbands. They should be known by their own accomplishments. And
I'm not saying they should be known by their husbands.
They've been amazing in their own rights and definitely deserve it. But of the ladies we've mentioned for Texas, because it's going to be in Texas, definitely Michelle makes the most sense, I think. I mean, Grant, you're talking to a guy who I cannot wait till Kelly Kelly goes into the Hall of Fame.
Which will happen.
She was my favorite when I started watching.
Yeah. Do you think they'll ever pull the trigger on putting Chyna in?
Maybe not individually. She's in with DX.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know if they'll ever go the full.
I'm
who do you have
biased.
speak for Chyna, though?
What's that?
I'm sorry. Say
who do you have
Foley.
speak for Chyna?
Foley.
Because you're not going to have Hunter. Hunter would not be a good choice.
No.
Mick
Foley.
I would agree with
as a Mick Foley. What you're saying, Josh? Mick Foley?
Yeah.
She's definitely Foley's definitely, I think, one of the few that could be. I also think, based on the healing that's happened in the last, unfortunately, 5 years. Wow. Sean Waltman, because here's the thing. They're not having inductees, at least in person. They didn't last year because I don't know how they're going to set it up this year or in the future years. But if they're having it be as brief as it was, which I felt flowed very well. The show, both classes flowed very well. I felt like I wanted more from the inductees giving their speeches, but it was all right in the grand scheme of things. If they're not going to have a long induction and they're not going to have long inductee speeches, then definitely Sean Waltman, definitely Mick Foley. Now that Nice has been made with the company and with her mom and sister, Jan and Kathy, I think Jan and Kathy would be a great candidate, a pair of candidates to accept for Joni, especially if it's a solo induction, which I feel, again, I'm biased as hell for reasons, but she definitely deserves it. So,
you're talking about to accept for. I thought you meant to induct in. To induct in, I would go Foley, but to accept, you're right. That's a
to accept in at this point, because they may not, it has to be Jan and Kathy. To induct her, I go with probably Mick Foley. Yeah, he seems like the least controversial candidate to do that.
That's an understatement.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are slightly over time, but it's okay. We're going to get you to Dynamite right now. Thank you for everybody. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Matt, for joining on the Greg Cherry Show. We will see you guys next week. Again, no trivia challenge on the Greg Cherry brand tomorrow because of Thanksgiving. We will be back next Thursday with a fantastic match. It's Chris Cass against K-Zone. You don't want to miss that one. That's going to be a fantastic opening round match. Fun. Yeah, it's good. So, guys, check that out next Thursday, and we will see you next Wednesday right here on the Greg Cherry Show. Have a good night, everybody.